trouble is Christmas. I just don't understand it. Instead of feeling happy, I feel sort of let down.
I know how you feel about all this Christmas business, getting depressed and all that. It happens to me every year.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, switching over in 3, 2, and boom. Ooh.
Hey.
Happy holidays. Happy Our Thoughts.
Whew.
What are we saying? Our Thoughts Christmas? Our Thoughts Holiday? Our Thoughts Season?
We're there. Our thoughts. What are you feeling? Our thoughts holiday. Our thoughts winter. Our thoughts.
Our Thoughts Winter, yeah.
Christmas. Yeah.
We'll
I don't know about
we'll do Our Thoughts Holiday. We'll be all inclusive if you don't celebrate Christmas. But
yeah.
So happy
Either
holidays.
way, yeah. Welcome to December. In my opinion, the best month of the year, but that's just me.
Oh.
Yeah. In case you guys don't know, in case you guys are new here, that's Matt Maggs over there on the other end. I'm a sopping meat bag of insecurity and depression.
Damn. Wow.
And this is the 66th episode of the Our Thoughts Live, and it's a big one, man. It's a big one.
It is a big one.
Man, like we said, it's the opening of December. That's enough right there. We have a SZA pre-album drop, bro. I used to pray for times like this for real, man.
For real.
We're here. We have a Metro album that just dropped. We're gonna review that. New Weeknd stuff. You know,
Fire
all the
Weeknd
stuff
feature.
that you know.
For sure.
Oh my God, I got a lot to talk about with that one. So yeah, welcome. I better open up the chat just so I know who's here. But yeah, man, how have you been? It's been a minute. We've had a couple weeks to get ourselves together. How was Thanksgiving? It's been that long.
I know. It has been a little bit. But yeah, let me know how the holidays, if you celebrate any of these holidays, let us know how it's going for you. Thanksgiving was a lot. Had some great food. I was telling you about them yams I had, some of the best yams.
Yeah. And I get at the yams.
Let me get it. I was getting at those yams, bro. I was telling you that was the highlight of my Thanksgiving. Those sweet
baby yams.
Sweet yams. I know Thanksgiving was cool. It's been kind of exhausting. But good news, we're starting off 2023 very strong. I just started my new job this week, so we up.
Thoughts in the chat going.
You know, money bag, stacking that bread finally. You know,
bread.
Yeah, so that's been cool.
Yeah.
But no, it's been good. I'm excited to kind of close out this year. I'm excited. Oh my God, bro, this SZA album dropping tonight. I cannot believe. It's just like, it just seems surreal, honestly. It's been 5 years since Control, and it's felt even longer than that. People really thought she was gonna pull a Lauryn Hill and be a one album only, and that was it. And it was gonna be a classic. It was gonna outlive her, but she's come out with a sophomore album, a really, really huge album to follow up. But I'm extremely excited. We have a stacked track list of over 20 songs. There's rumors of a deluxe. Yeah, man. So I've been a lot to get to. Yeah, but I've been good. I've been really looking forward to today. Yes, it's finally here, and I'm looking forward to these holidays. It's nice and cold in LA. Got to, wear all my cozy gear. But yeah, it's been an eventful couple of weeks since we last saw you.
Yeah. Absolutely. I echo the same sentiment. It's been quite a couple of weeks. We have Matthew David here battling some sickness. Hope you're feeling better, man. And glad to see you here in the stream, man. Who else we got? We got Jose,
Jamie Edwards finally here. What's good? Some usual prospects.
No, I know. Good to see everyone. Welcome. And without further ado, man, let's get into this little SZA pre-album stream, man. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of news. Oh wait, no. Hold on. Let's start off with a little bit of a show and tell.
You're right. You're right. Right. I
start off with that. And
I even forgot. Cool. Okay. So short little segment before we get into this stuff.
Yeah.
As we've said before, we like doing a little show and tell, a little flexing of our vinyl pickups. I just personally got a new vinyl. I was not expecting to pick up one, but I was out on Ventura Boulevard, which is this. I don't say it's like really iconic, but like if you're from LA, you go there. It's like the biggest. I don't know. It's like every store you can think of is on that street. And so we're walking around, and I see this store called Licorice Pizza. And if y'all have seen or heard of the movie, this is what the name is based off of. In the movie, they never go to this store. In fact, they never talk about like vinyls or anything, so I don't know why it's called that, but there is a record store called Licorice Pizza, and I went in, just wanted to check it out, and I found the craziest pickup that I don't think I've seen this version of this album like pressed on a vinyl that looks like this. So hold on, let me grab it. I'm gonna switch over to my little cam. I got
The unveiling.
This I don't know if I've never seen it like this, but a crazy like holographic version of Because the Internet by our boy Bino.
Damn.
And you can tell, I mean, you could see the reflection, like it is shining.
Bino.
Woo!
Look at that.
What's
Look at
crazy
that
is
thing.
there's no track list. No track list on the back. In fact, I don't think there is. Oh yeah, there is a track list. Here, let's see. There's some crazy looking art.
Ooh, wow, that looks incredible.
This like abstract version of the cover, which is kind of cool. And then they do have the track list, and I think there's song credits inside. Pretty cool. The sleeves are interesting. They have this crazy like digital kind of like art design. Again, doesn't say which is like the first disc and the second disc. Like when I put it on, I was just guessing. I was like, okay, I guess this is like disc 1. So that's interesting. But you know, Gambino has to be all cryptic and shit.
Yeah.
But no, it's fire. Sounds awesome. And it's definitely the most fire, like, yo, that design
look at that.
Goes crazy. Super cool.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. That's interesting because I was actually blasting the Awaken My Love vinyl because of it was a 6-year anniversary, and he also doesn't have the track list, and it's also like on the inside like little like sheet thing that the vinyl goes in. So I don't know if that's just his decision. He doesn't like having the track list on the back, but yo man, that is a sick pickup. I've been seeing that on like Merch Bar where it's like maybe not that exact one, but like some cool like holographic type design, and I'm like I always pass by it like, damn, one day.
I know.
But,
it's
hey,
worth.
That
it's
is
pretty cool.
fire. Yeah. That's the thing about oh shit, this is reminding me. We had another topic that we got to talk about after this SZA pre-album drop. The Spotify rap thing.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
We'll
talk
about that.
That's a saucy topic. We'll definitely get to that in a second.
You're right.
As for right now, thank you. Great little show and tell. Let's get some claps. Class, if we could get applaud Matt for sharing and telling.
Thank you, class.
But without further ado, man, here we are. Second album, S.O.S. 23 records. Well, really like 20 new records, and there you can see there's the album cover. Shoot, man, where do we even start? We've been waiting for this album for forever.
Yeah.
It feels like, right up there. It's right up there on the rankings of like the Kendrick album, the Frank album.
Definitely. I would say this is one of the most anticipated albums like ever. If you guys didn't see some of the stats that are already coming out, it's already like the number 2 like trending album on Apple Music, and it hasn't even dropped yet. That's how many people.
Jose, watch yourself. Jesus.
Hey yo, come on, bro. Like she got Tim's on. She can't be that thick.
Yo, just
this photo is
catching a random stray.
Yeah, like this. I mean, this photo. Okay, so yeah, it's already trending on Apple Music. So many people have already saved the album. I don't think I have because I don't have Apple Music. But I have a feeling this is gonna do insane numbers for its opening weekend. Track list also dropped. We'll show that in a second. But where to begin? I mean, I really didn't think we were getting a SZA project this year until maybe like a month ago. I mean, obviously, like she only started talking and releasing stuff this month, or I guess last month. But when I don't know, she was kind of coming back in the forefront. She was kind of dropping little hints here and there about the situation over at TDE with Punch and like, all that stuff. She's dropping little hints on her story, like being in the studio, stuff like that. So that kind of started making me feel like, oh shit, okay, it could be this year. And December, she snuck in right at the end of the year, I don't know personally where our cutoff is for the OTP awards. If we want to cut it off, if it's just everything dropped in 22.
I think we said, I remember we had this question, and I think we cut it off exactly December 31st.
Okay, everything this year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why Don FM didn't get in last year's OTP award. So, which is, by the way, like,
this is gonna be stacked.
It's around there, man. I started the doc.
Yeah.
Sorry, just random side note. I started the doc, and I started doing my little, like just like a first run of like whatever comes to my mind is like, okay, this definitely has to be. And soon enough, I was like, oh shit, I gotta cut some of these because I gotta leave room for you to put your own nominations. And I'm just like, this is gonna be such a amazing award show. Like, the noms list is gonna be so stacked. It's gonna be super hard for us to choose a winner.
There might be some. This might be the first year where there are some actual upsets in the OTP award. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that we just cater, but like we like know which are the actual best albums. But there were so many amazing projects this year. Like, I don't even know. This might be one of them. This might throw all my nominations off. Like if it turns out that good. But
there's an album that dropped this past week that shook some shit up.
Oh, for sure.
Being very honest.
For sure.
But yeah, sorry. Back to the girl Solana, man. Oh my goodness.
One thing I'm wondering is what is like the theme, I guess, of this album. You know, we had Control. There was the whole voicemail thing. The whole thing about, I think it was her and her grandma, her and her mom giving her like a little pep talk or something, talking about losing control, like when you try to gain control of someone. You know, just kind of life lessons. But with, I think the album's called S.O.S. I mean, already from the album cover, she's very isolated. I feel like isolation might be a huge theme of this album. People are comparing this, saying that it is a tribute, which it is. It's a tribute to that Princess Diana photo where it pretty much looks exactly like this, but it's Princess Diana.
Right.
So which is cool. That's also an interesting thing to kind of compare yourself to. It's like this huge idol, this figure who was kind of at the mercy of the press, of her fans, like of this pressure from the world, and all she wanted to do was leave and be alone, you know, from the royal family, that type of thing. So maybe she's drawing in some inspiration there about how she feels, like as if she can kind of relate to Princess Diana, maybe. But yeah, in terms of the sound, I don't know. I have no idea where it's gonna go. Control is so timeless in terms of like the sound it went for. It's all pretty much live instrumental, which makes it so adaptable and why it stood the test of time for 5 years. But I don't know. What do you think? Like, based off of, you know, some of the singles that she's dropped are going to be on there. You know, Good Days, Shirt, stuff like that. So just going off of those two records, like, do you think they're just going to stand out? Do you think like that's maybe a testament to what the other songs are going to sound like? We did get a little snippet at the end of the Shirt music video with a very stripped down little ballad. What do you think this album's going to sound like compared to her last project?
Yeah, no, so I've been watching a lot of interviews of her this past couple of days just because I'm super excited. And it's funny just because she's the way she kind of is carrying herself is very real, very authentic. It's why we love SZA, is because she, you know, she doesn't try to sugarcoat anything, and she's coming across as very, you know, anxious. Like, you know, if in case you guys don't know, like this music seems to been around for a long time, but her label has just been kind of holding her back because they're like, oh, we don't need to put out a new album out. You know, Kiss Me More is doing great. I Hate You is doing great.
Right.
Why do we need to put out a new single or a new album if Control is still like doing charts, you know, or doing numbers? So with that said, I kind of feel like this album might be a little bit all over the place sonically, you know, like I remember she'd mentioned and we're going to get to the track list in a bit, as we mentioned before, but there's going to be a Phoebe Bridgers feature on here, which is, you know, came out of left field a little bit. And she mentioned that it's a very alternative record. And, you know, meanwhile, you got Travis Scott on here.
Yeah.
You have, there's another feature on there. And Don Toliver, is Don Toliver on here?
I think Don Toliver's on there. There's also another one. Here, let's just switch over to the track list here.
Yeah.
Jose, watch yourself. Watch yourself, bro.
We're watching you at this point.
We got the 4K cam, okay?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
got the
yeah.
4K cam. It's
But look, yeah,
the old Dirty Bastard record. That dude, she revived
Old
him
Dirty
from the
Bastard.
dead to get him on the new SZA track or SZA record.
Yeah. So I think this is gonna be it's gonna be all over the place. We're gonna have the sad records. We're gonna have the alternative, alternative rock segments, which could be very interesting. We got some hip hop. Some. I hope she kind of does a little bit of rapping. I think I
Yeah,
remember one thing you'd mentioned was like if she goes into like this timeless Lauryn Hill,
right.
Fugees type vibe, which would be really cool, like very low key. So yeah, no, to answer your question, like I think we're gonna get basically like a hard drive of what SZA had been
Mm,
working on the past 5 years, and she had mentioned like this kind of feels like this album feels like a reset. Like
mm,
she's like anticipating putting this album out because it gives her a chance to start over and kind of just like undo this reputation she now has of like
just
being
control.
this yeah, of being that type artist. Yeah, so
Hmm.
no, man. I don't know. I'm curious. Like now that we have the track list, your first reactions to it. If you like have a response to anything I just said, like yeah, what are you feeling about this whole
Yeah, I think you're definitely
track
right.
list?
I think it's gonna be a little bit all over the place. Maybe, hopefully, not in the terms of it like it's gonna be really messy, but maybe it's just gonna be a bunch of different genres that she's kind of
Yeah, that's
bouncing
what I mean. Yeah.
between. Yeah, so I'm
Right.
no,
Right.
I'm really excited for that. I feel like, I mean, just judging off of some of these, um, some of these track names. I mean,
Ooh, smoking on my X pack.
yeah, like that's
Oh shit.
crazy. Smoking on my Xbox, Gone
Woo.
Girl. Come on, bro. Like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Nobody Gets
Oh,
Me. Like Seek and Destroy.
she's gonna have her own Too Late. Oh,
Yeah,
it's too. Oh.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Kill Bill. She's on some like, she's on
Uh-huh.
some other shit right now. I think I don't know. I think it's gonna be a little more hip hop centric, a little darker, definitely darker, and
Mm.
more unapologetic for sure. In terms of the
Ooh.
lyrics, I mean, if you look at like Control, like she has amazing, writing. Like it's all very personal. She's being
Yeah.
very real about her insecurities. This one, I think, is gonna be
Mm.
the opposite. I think she's gonna be like,
Whoa.
"Fuck everyone. I know my worth now. Smoking on my X pack. Nobody can get me. Kill Bill. I'm out here seeking
Okay.
and destroying, whatever that means." But yeah, no, I think she's gonna. I think this is gonna be some sort of like, she's coming to terms with herself, finding
Yeah.
some respect and like some self-respect, setting her boundaries, and then there's some sort of, I don't know. I feel like there's some sort of like release, like that, like
Yeah.
a less than zero type thing, if I got to put it in the
Yeah.
Weekend terms.
Hmm.
But no, man, I'm excited. There's so many tracks, which I'm excited for. I mean, there better be. If this was like 12 tracks after 5 years, I would have been mad. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that it's 23 tracks. I hope it's not just bloated. I hope they're all very like, precise. They're all there for a reason. They're all different moments. And we're also like getting a deluxe potentially. She posted on her story. I don't know who she was texting, but it was a text between someone, and she was like, they were like, "How many songs do you want to add to the deluxe?" And she was like, "A lot." So I really hope that we're gonna be fed, and we're not gonna need another album for like another 5 years. With
Yeah, it's gonna be 50 records by the time that
Right.
this whole rollout is all said and done.
Right.
Like we said, we're getting basically the hard drive, and maybe
That's-
like meticulously
yeah.
sequenced and crafted, so it's kind of made in a beautiful packaging. But
Right.
I think we're getting everything that she's felt and thought and just kind of experienced over the past couple years. If I had to
Crazy.
compare it to something, maybe something like and not in like the actual album itself, but just the concept of it is like Mr. Morale, like that idea of like this is the album that like I just needed to put out because of what I've been going through
Right.
these last couple of years. I'm not saying it's gonna follow that kind of storyline and concept or anything, but just like the idea that she just needed to put this album out. So super
Yeah.
excited. Oh my goodness.
I'm
And
glad-
as you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we're getting another SZA Travis Scott track on here.
Oh,
That was
we
one
needed-
of my favorite tracks off of Control. I see Matthew Davis said he thinks, in his opinion, Prom is the best. That's his hot take. SZA's best song off of Control is Prom. I love that track. I love that track. I
Yeah.
can't believe there's not a music video for that track. Every time I hear it, I see the music video. It's her literally, like, it literally does sound like when you're getting ready for prom. You know, if you've ever seen like Lady Bird or something, or those coming of age, you know, films, like those movies that, like, you know, the girlies watch when they're getting ready, that type of thing. Like, I can see that music video. So it's definitely paints a picture. It's like really, it's a cute song.
Wait, on that end, real quick, you know, since this is the pre-SZA album drop party, what is your favorite SZA record? If you could nail it down to one.
That's tough. That's really tough.
And also in the chat, let us know what your absolute favorite SZA record is.
Immediately, Drew Barrymore came to mind. I think that is like just the most catchy to me. Like, every time it comes on a shuffle, I have to play it because it's just so good. I also love Normal Girl. I feel like that is such like a it's like, I'm not even like, you know, I know who she's talking about. You know, she's talking to her female fan, you know, her female listeners, people who have insecure. But it's like, even besides that, it's like the thing she talks about, like, we've all felt that before. And the way she goes about it in Normal Girl, you know, I'm not even a girl. I'm like, man, I wish I was a normal girl, man. Like, I wish I didn't have all these problems too. So like that one hits home. I mean, Love Galore. Come on. Let me plant my seed inside you. Come on.
I remember there was a video you sent me like a while ago when that song first came out. It was, you know, SZA singing Love Galore, and it was like, you described it, I think, as like a Taylor Swift concert where, you know, everyone's just kind of swaying along, and then Travis Scott comes in, he's why you bother me, why you bother me, why you bother
all the
me,
girls are like,
and then like all of a sudden people just start moshing and punching each other, and the whole vibe switches, and I love that Travis Scott like provides that in that album. So really, oh my god, 2017, such a great year of music for sure.
truly like Travis Scott, Kendrick honestly provides such a great energy. Really sad we're not getting a Kendrick feature on this album. With Doves in the Wind.
Sorry. I apologize to my mom watching.
I know, I'm like, you just call me a pussy? Hey, come on now.
Oh shit, Our Thoughts beef. Here we go.
Our Thoughts beef. But someone did point out though, no Isaiah Rashad. This is the first project without Isaiah Rashad on a SZA project, which kind of sucks. And a little more on that, actually. She did I don't know if this was like a story or like a live stream or something, but she was talking about how apparently there was supposed to be a lot more features on this album, and they didn't turn in their verses in time and shit like that. And she was like, yeah, it's like really disappointing. Like, I thought they would show out for me, you know, and show up, and they didn't. But then I'm also like, bro, like, people thought they had all the time in the world, bro. You didn't drop for 5 years, and you're just like, why didn't you give me the verse? It's like, oh, you're dropping finally, you know, like, like, are you lying about it, or is it really coming out, you know?
You'd have thought that this would like all the features and all that stuff would have been a process happening over the past
years,
5 years, you know. I don't know, like, it's very confused. I don't know what to make of this whole album rollout, because it seems like, you know, obviously all artists are a little bit like, they don't know like how the album will be received and all that stuff, but it seems like SZA, she's very real in that she's just like, yo, honestly, like, I just want to put this shit out, and I kind of just want to like disappear out forever. Like, you know, like, I don't want to know what the reception is, but also I kind of do, but also like,
I would be really
if
scared.
It is positive. So it's and also hearing that with the features thing, I am very interested in like the fact that there's no TDE artists at all, like zero
at all, not
you know?
Which is crazy. But you know, she did say that there's gonna be a deluxe, so maybe that gives her extra time to get those people to turn those verses in, and she ends up releasing all of her features on a deluxe album or something. I don't know. But I mean, but this is the running track list for the album. Man, I'm hyped though. I'm very hyped.
Yeah, man. Like, and real quick, back to that note of the TD artist. She had another interview. Like I said, I've just been binging with who was it? I think it was like Z100, and she mentioned that the TDE artists, even like before Kendrick left, they're all kind of in their own worlds
Yeah.
and like they weren't talking. And I don't know. I just kind of thought about like how compare that to like Dreamville. They're literally like renting out camps
Yeah, they're all in the
and
same
like
studio,
hanging
just
out,
hopping from
make
like, studio to studio and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, making straight up collab albums together. So I don't know, like TDE, that whole TDE arc has been very interesting to kind of keep
Hmm.
track of, and with this album now, SZA is kind of like the main banner,
Yeah, she's like
the
their
the
flagship.
flagship.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
flagship artist. Now that
yeah.
Kendrick is gone, which is kind of, I really do. I
It's almost like she
really,
doesn't want that too. That's the thing, is
yeah,
like she
yeah.
almost like she wants to be a
Yeah.
pop star, but she doesn't want like the kind of like the
The
hassle and
the
like
expectation and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's an interesting thing. So I'm very excited to see like what this album adds to
Hmm.
that narrative storyline, that or just how she's feeling and all that stuff. So I don't know if like this will propel her to that point. Like very well, like you mentioned, is there's going to be some darker records, potentially some very candid songs, but also I anticipate, she mentioned that she wants to dance.
Mm,
Like that's like her main thing. So I
okay.
think we're gonna get like a
Some upbeat.
TikTok record, like the smash hit
Yeah.
of the next couple months with this next song. So I'm curious to
Okay.
see which one it
Okay.
is. So I don't know, man. Like I said, with like this is, I feel very much the reason why I compared it to Mr. Morale was because, one, like it's been a while since his last release. I think
Yeah.
exactly the same amount of years,
5
2017.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, and also like we also have that same feeling of like I have no idea what the sound is gonna be. I have no idea like
Yeah.
what if there's a concept to this, if there's anything. So I don't know, man. But either way, I'm really excited. Um, yeah. Is there anything you wanted to touch on?
We'll see. Matthew David brings up something really interesting. In that he says
Yeah.
that maybe Haley Williams from Paramore might be on there on the deluxe. I think someone actually tweeted at SZA about Haley Williams or something, and she was like, "You'd be surprised how much we actually talk."
Ooh.
So maybe not. That's kind of on the same vibe as like Phoebe Bridgers, like in terms of the
Yeah.
same genre at least. That might be cool. But man, I really do wish we had a Kendrick feature on there really badly. I don't know if it's gonna be on the
Yeah.
deluxe. That might be pushing it. Um, but we'll see.
Maybe
We'll see.
hopefully like one of those like secret features, like not like in terms of it not being a verse maybe, but just being like
Just
some
some
backing
vocals.
vocals.
Yeah, yeah. Some
You
harmonizing
know,
vocals.
a
Some
little
ad
interlude or
libs.
something.
Yeah.
Oh, and ad libs. I don't know, man. Yeah, yeah.
We'll
Just
see.
because, yeah, SZA rapping also. That's another. I think
Yeah.
you'd mentioned hip hop influence, but also SZA just rapping. She already her lyrics are very much like a rapper
Right.
type vibe anyway. So I just would like to see that.
Yeah.
And speaking of artists that could feature on the deluxe, there was a very interesting development in another interview that she mentioned, with the Weeknd.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This isn't exactly the weekly Weekend update yet, so push back that intro. But we want to talk about how, apparently, they've been talking these last couple months, and they were trying to get the Weeknd to feature on this album, and unfortunately, things didn't work out or whatever, deadlines and all that stuff. And she said that, she'd been talking with him. She would love to do the Die For You remix,
Yeah.
but she made a deal like, okay, if we can get him on the deluxe and feature, then I'll put out the Die For You remix. Like
Right.
we'll do it. So that's
What?
super exciting.
I mean, that is. But when you do that, it's like we could get nothing if nobody does anything.
True, yeah. You're speaking out to the universe, and now it's like,
Yeah. Now
is
who's
it
gonna make the
happening?
first move? Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
funny how they keep each other hostage like that. But nah,
Yeah.
I mean, that Die For You remix, like, I think there was a snippet, right?
On the Memento Mori, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
was-
yeah.
yeah.
Bro, I need that. I need it. So, Abel, you better like figure something out and cut your verse real quick, because I think the streets need the Die For You remix more than whatever you're gonna feature on SZA's album. I'll be real. Okay, so
Yeah.
but I don't know. It could be great. It could
Strange.
be. I mean, Weekend SZA, like, come on, like that's like a recipe made for Billboard right there. That'll shoot straight to the top.
Yeah, SZA, Weekend on Die For You, which is just
Bro.
this had blown up. Like my dad and I, like my dad loves Die For You. I think I'd mentioned on this podcast before. He for my mom's birthday card, he wrote, I would lie for you, I would die for you, I would kill for you, my baby. He is single-handedly responsible for getting Die For You back on the whatever it was, top 10 Billboard charts
God, the Riz God.
Riz God. Yeah, no, he's certified, man. That man is Teflon, but he and we were talking about it, and he was like amazed, like, wait, this song came out 2016? Like, and it's like, how did I not hear about this? It's like,
I know.
Well, you slept on it, Dad. You slept on. You were sleeping on the Weeknd.
You were sleeping on it, bro. Hey, he's on it now,
it's
though.
It's timeless, man. It's timeless. That's the thing. Is like, people are gonna go back 20 years from now and be like, "Oh shit, Die For You." So for SZA to get on that record and all of a sudden do her thing, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
That's like Michael Jackson and like Whitney Houston, or like,
hopping
like
on a track.
On like Rock With You or something. I don't know. Like I just that's iconic right there. So I don't know. I would love to see it. So yeah, no.
Hopefully they turn their verses.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. We're manifesting it. But no, man. Any points about this SZA album? You're excited. Like, what are your you kind of talked about like what you are expecting, but like what do you want from it? What do you hope for?
I hope, it's hard to be like, I hope it's better than Control, because it's just like that's the whole thing, like how do you beat that? But maybe it's something where it's like it's so different where you can't even I want something different. That's all I want. I want something that's totally different than anything that she's been doing as a feature, as a single. I want it to feel like it's within its own realm, just like how you can, when you hear a Control track, that's from Control. She's been doing a bunch of different stuff with a bunch of different artists, featuring all over the place, getting, numbers. But when it comes to this sophomore album, this is, like we said, probably one of the most anticipated albums, like, outside of Blonde, and I'm being serious. Like, it's pretty much on that level in terms of the numbers we're already seeing, and it's not even out yet. I want it to be different. I want her to explore a new sound. I want there to be moments where I'm like what? Like, I didn't even know, like, this could be a sound. This is completely new to me. Create a vibe that I feel like is ripped straight from SZA's head. I hope it doesn't try and lean into being a little too comfortable or lean into what has led her to be viral in the past. I hope she's just as unapologetic as her lyrics when it comes to the songwriting, the structure, the sounds, what this album turns out to be. So that's all I can expect. That's all I can ask for, really. But we'll see in a couple hours. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm gonna be, man. She really slipped in at the last second for this with this album, man. This could F up the whole Our Thoughts Awards immediately if she does it right. But no, I hope she does.
Yeah, man, we're about to find out in 3 hours, bro. That's how long it takes for this SZA album to come out, man. We're gonna be waiting 3 hours. Common, Jose W. Yeah. Spotify local files. I like it.
Okay, nice.
But
you're giving yourself a Common W. Okay.
I've never seen someone like assign themselves like a Common Cesco W. Common Matt W.
I gotta acknowledge when I take my dubs.
Yeah, hey, self-love. I respect that. Let's see, but unless there's anything else, we're preciously we're taking this time to just appreciate everything SZA has given us, and can't wait to just see what emotions, what thoughts we're about to kind of explore with this next album, man. I'm just, man, new SZA album, man.
Crazy. Crazy.
She
really dropped before Frank. That's wild.
I was just gonna say, I was texting you like, dude, just imagine the Frank Ocean pre-album drop stream. Like, it'll just be like, guys, like, are we really here like right now? Like,
no.
Is this
it'll be, bro. I'll go to like the top of a mountain or something and try and stream and be like, Frank, drop the album.
You're gonna be on top of the cliff. Frank.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
We'll see.
But man, I can't wait for whenever that day. That's like the last thing. Imagine he drops on December 31st.
Oh my God, the last second of the year.
The very, very last second. Really like just completely fucks up our thoughts boards. Like, oh my God, man.
All right.
So enough. That's enough daydreaming for the day. We're waiting on.
It'll be here soon.
This album.
It'll be here soon, in our hands, on our Spotify.
Yeah. Speaking of Spotify,
Yes.
let's talk about Spotify Wrapped. This has been something that we've been anticipating for a while, and to be honest, kind of underwhelming.
Mid alert.
Yeah.
Boo.
The mid-accusation.
Mid-Q.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Tomato.
Tomato. This is the Spotify Rap Tribunal, ladies and gentlemen.
Boo.
We are here. So real quick, would you be able to pull up your Spotify Rap? Is it even worth really?
I don't know if I can do it on my computer. It won't look the same as like.
Yeah, let's just.
I mean, I can try. I can try it on my phone here.
Yeah. I know for sure I have like screenshots on my phone, so we can do it like that. Go ahead and leave any of your highlights from your Spotify Rap, what your thoughts were, all that stuff. But yeah, man, not gonna lie.
Who was your? Let me know who your guys' top artists were. I think I can already guess though.
Yeah, what was your yeah, I know. What was your listening personality? What's your listening aura?
Okay, my listening aura. Okay, here we go. I got it on here, my Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah.
This year you ventured into the genre universe. It says. I explored 45 different genres. Those were even I feel like this is not accurate. But I explored, number 1 is hip hop. Which I'm like, okay, sure, I listen to all the rap. Alternative R&B, pop, quiet storm. I don't know what that is.
I think that's just like vibes, like
just vibes. Okay.
Ethereal, like
sure, just vibes.
I don't know what. I've never heard of a genre called quiet storm.
It's okay, and then underground hip hop. Okay, let's see. What were your genres?
My genre was. Hold on, I don't have. Okay, it was literally exactly yours.
Okay.
Rap, alternative R&B, pop, quiet storm, underground hip hop.
You see, like, how does that make sense? Like, we don't listen to the.
It is also like.
I mean, we listen to the similar things, but you probably like your number one should probably be R&B. You know, like you definitely listen to more to R&B than hip hop. You know.
I feel like. The order to me is effed up. Like I get that we probably do listen to the same genres, but yeah, I agree for sure. How about what was your top 5 artists? Let's see.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, we got the Weeknd.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So so I listened to 40,000 minutes of music. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
The first song, or my top song, was my top song to them was "Out of Time," Dawn FM.
Pointing. All right, that's the same with me.
Sure. I played 4,487 different songs. Here's my top 5 songs. Okay, Dawn FM, which makes no sense to me. Okay, obviously, I love The Weeknd. Dawn FM came out, was a huge deal, top of the year. I listened to it. But it wasn't the only thing I listened to, and I'm pretty sure I listened to other songs, like, way more than, like I know, okay, I played Here We Go Again a lot, but I definitely didn't, like, how is there someone else on here? When I listen to other artists, like the lack of like Erykah Badu and Lauryn Hill is crazy on here because I listened to only them this whole year. But apparently my top 5 is all Weeknd. Drake.
It's The Weeknd.
Yeah.
The Weeknd. Honestly, I'm looking at my top 5 records, and I'm like. You know, not gonna lie, it's all Dawn FM as well.
Yeah.
It's Out of Time, How Do I Make You Love Me, Gasoline, Here We Go Again, Take My Breath. But and I am okay with it being all The Weeknd, but what I'm thinking is like I definitely listen to a lot of After Hours tracks like over
Yeah.
and over and over again. It's not my I love Dawn FM. I've said it's like probably my favorite album by The Weeknd, but it's not all I listen to. Or maybe it was, but also it's just like the fact that I doubt it
I think it's a little rigged. I will say. I think
it doesn't feel like an accurate
yeah.
representation.
I think
of
the
my
stats
year-long
this
thing.
year were definitely rigged. I think
Yeah.
because The Weeknd was like the most listened to artist on the platform. Actually, I don't know. It might have been Bad Bunny. But he's up there. Like that might have just fucked with everyone's like global stats, because he's just like,
Yeah.
80 million monthly listeners. But yeah, no, like I don't know. Anyway,
I was just surprised like After Hours the song didn't end up on my top 5 songs,
Yeah.
which so I don't know. That's just me.
My top artist this year, The Weeknd. As you can see, I'm 0.5%. I know some of y'all are don't touch grass, so you're probably 0.0001% out there. And then let's see, my top artist. Here we go. This really pissed me off. Okay. Number 1, The Weeknd. Number 2, Kanye. Pre-Nazi Kanye, okay? And number 3, Kendrick. Number 4, Frank. Number 5, Tyler, the Creator.
Okay. How does got Yadolf number 2?
Yadolf. Have you wait, this is
yeah,
weird.
what?
Have you seen that one TikTok where it's like POV, you're listening to Kanye in 2022 and it's like flashing lights and he's like, wait, is it that one? Or it's like, instead of like flashing lights, it was like mine Kampf.
Oh no.
Got the Yadolf.
My God, that. Oh man, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
But just
No, I'm disappointed in this top 5 artists because
that too.
this was the same exact list as last year, and I'll be
True.
real, I did not listen to Frank that much this year. Not even Kendrick. I know Miss Morale came out. I like that album. It wasn't something I replayed a lot though. Like it has its place. But
Yeah.
I mean, Tyler would make sense on here, but Frank and Kendrick, like you're just stealing whatever you said last year. Like that was not. It should be.
Yeah.
It should definitely be either Lauryn Hill or Erykah Badu. I'm telling you, I know what I listen to. And it's not. It's not Frank because as you guys know, I'm anti-Frank now.
Yeah. No. Same with me, bro. But with Drake, like I'm gonna try to break the Drake curse next year. Like I'm planning on just being completely off it.
Was Drake in your top 5?
He was. So mine went The Weeknd, Bruno, which I liked. I tried to
I didn't get any Silk Sonic on my chart.
That's
like what?
Right. That's another thing.
Like-
Is like I definitely was bumping smoking out the window like all year.
A lot.
Over. Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, so it was The Weeknd, Bruno Mars, which by the way, check out our Bruno Mars it's a deep dive into his discography and the pursuit of the perfect record, all that stuff.
Amazing video.
Yeah, man. We killed that. The Our Thoughts Holiday special.
Right.
Number 3 Drake, 4 Kendrick, 5 Division. I like being in there because like, that album is like one of my favorites ever. But
Nice.
speaking of, I hate the fact that they didn't show us like what our top 5 most played albums were.
Right. They did that in the past.
Oh yeah, as recent as last year, I think. But and me, like and just us and also you, but is like we really value like listening to full albums and just playing them back and forth. So I would have loved to have seen like which albums was I spinning throughout the whole year, and, like which one garnered the most plays, which ones I went to front and back. I don't know, man. Like I just feel like this year was hella basic, man. They just gave us like the absolute bare minimum. Like I want to see all the fun little things about my personal listening habits. Like even like we were talking. I think we were talking about recently. Like Apple Music Wrapped.
That's what I'm saying. Like when people were posting their Apple Music, and it was way more detailed. Like they had like stats on how many, like of your top 5, maybe even top 10 like artists, how many minutes for each artist you listen to. Like they went into detail. Like Spotify, I don't know, man. I might have to might have to jump ship. You know, it's which would be kind of crazy. But like, I don't know if you saw Apple Music. They added like a karaoke feature to their. I think it's the new iOS update. But yeah, it's like now you can, if you turn on the karaoke feature, you'll have the instrumental to the song that you can sing along to, and you can like raise the voice of, you know, let's say it's like a Weeknd song, you can like turn down his vocal, or you can turn it up a little bit and like sing with him. But now like you have the instrumental to like every song ever. That you can, I don't know, maybe you can like spit your own bar, you know, over a Drake beat or something.
A little freestyle.
Yeah.
Well, definitely not a Drake beat. I'm not spitting on Rich Flex.
No.
Hey, Maddie Mays, don't you do something for me?
Yo, no, way too sexy.
No, wait.
Way too sexy. Cesco remix.
Depressed. That's my remix. Just way too depressed. I'm honestly, I've considered it. We've been talking about it, and we're just like, man, like, hey, Spotify Wrapped, more like Spotify Whack.
For real.
All right.
That's the one thing I look forward to. Like, that's why I have Spotify, if I'm being real. That plus like, the playlists are good, and like the Discover shit, and like, you know, I find good stuff. But I'll be real.
Podcast features are cool. Yeah,
podcast is cool, but Apple sounds better too. Like, I know people say that, but it does. Like, I can tell now. I think, I don't know what it is. Maybe Spotify's just kind of like compressed their music more lately. But also like the whole like local files thing. I think, who said that? Was it Jose or someone? Or someone said they had like the Die For You remix on their local files. That also is such a pain in the ass, because it's like really hard to get it on Spotify, and sometimes you lose it, you know, if you like log out. But if you have Apple Music, just drop it on iTunes and it's already there. Like, you can have so much unreleased music and like leaked shit already available on here, like without having to do the whole like sync with Spotify and stuff. So
this is not a paid ad for Apple at all, but it could be.
It could be.
You know,
if
email us at
OurThoughts@gmail.com
for business inquiries.
Right.
But yeah, no, man. And also they have that spatial audio thing. Remember that the Weeknd was like, and Olivia Rodrigo was promoting like, oh, it's like 8D. Where it goes all around you, like that
Dolby
stuff
Atmos,
could be really cool.
Whatever, you know.
I'm gonna be blasting that with the big
headphones
over here headphones. Oh my god! But yeah, sorry. What were you gonna say?
What was your like, listening personality type or whatever?
I got The Adventurer.
Okay.
ENVU, which is. It's just like the MBTI test where it's like, I'm an INFJ.
Like,
you know?
ENFJ,
Yeah. So I'm a... What are you, by the way? Do you know what you...
I think I'm ENFJ.
Oh, okay. That explains why we're always so, like, on the same page. It's like...
You know who also is? Obama. Also ENFJ. Shit. Come on. Okay, can't get better than that.
Yeah. So it says here, I am an adventurer. I'm a seeker of sound. I venture into... the unknown, searching for fresher artists, deeper cuts, newer tracks, especially gems yet to be found. I mean, sure, like that's, you know, I appreciate that, but I also saw Curry. He showed me his our beloved moderator who isn't here this evening.
Wow.
He mentioned that I know that's, you know, that's coming right out the paycheck. That's all I'm saying. But he said like his was like, oh, you are really good at being like on like putting your finger on the pulse of what's new and like trendy and all that stuff. And I'm like, he definitely isn't like a trendy person. Like, he listens to like Elvis, he listens to jukebox music, Sam Cooke, freaking like like he you know does the oldies too. So I don't know, in my head it's just like, is that also as janky as like what did you get? Did you get
I got that actually. The early adopter is what it's called. Matthew David also just said
hell no.
He got the early adopter. But it's it's the same thing. It's the finger on the pulse of new music or whatever.
Nah, man. I mean, obviously you have your finger on the pulse of new music, all that stuff, but also it's like you go back to the oldie. You know the deep cuts. You listen to, you know, 70s funk, 90s R&B. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's true. Because like the description, it's like if the song is trending, you're on it, and I'm like, sure, but like not necessarily like every trending song. You know, like You know, I don't know. I do listen to more old stuff. Like I can't believe
It's just not how I
2000.
describe you.
Yeah.
It's not how I describe you personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my personality type apparently.
Yeah.
So kind of mid. I will definitely like not be listening to my Spotify rap playlist because it's just like whatever it thinks I like. But there are some cuts on there where I'm like, why didn't this make it? You know, like Lauryn Hill's on it. Jay Dilla's on here. Steve Lacy. How is there's no Steve Lacy on anywhere to be found in my stats? I don't really get that. I think because they really lacked on like the stats this year, that they didn't have like, I don't know, room to like add more information which would have been more accurate. They just kind of just did a general like whatever, and it's probably not as accurate as last year. And so that's why somehow I listened to Frank Ocean so much this year, even though that man hasn't dropped in 5 years, and I'm currently like boycotting his music. Like that doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, common Spotify L.
Yeah, honestly, Spotify.
Yeah.
Spotify little wrapped.
Yeah. Spotify
anyways.
whack.
Jose says my top artists were The Weeknd, Frank Ocean, Kendrick, Mickey Mouse, and Donald Duck.
I didn't know they were okay. Like Mickey Mouse
I-
Clubhouse.
Was that like a collab? Like, was it like a Her Loss thing? Like, collab album drop with
Yo. Let's see.
Matthew David.
Weeknd,
says, yes,
Drake,
Styles.
Kanye, Frank, and Harry Styles. Cringe when you saw Kanye. Yeah. I listened to a lot of old Kanye this year because I was just like feeling bad. I was like, man, where is this Kanye? And like the Kanye documentary dropped this year, so I definitely dived in. So I get that, but yeah. Oh, wow. Wait, your top song was actually Am I Wrong by Anderson .Paak. That's really interesting.
That's fire.
That's cool. I also listened to so much Anderson .Paak this year. Bruh, I'm telling you, it's way off. It's way off.
I thought, honestly, like, I don't know about you, but I really felt like I whatever this means, I crafted together like an amazing Spotify rap. And
Me
I was
too.
ready to like put it together. Like, I would see like,
Yeah.
obviously The Weeknd would be my number one artist for me personally, but also it's like maybe throw some Anderson .Paak in there.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I don't know, Silk Sonic, but also maybe why am I struggling to figure out what just like some just something new, something different,
Yeah.
my top, especially my top songs. Like I just was not expecting all Dawn FM
Weekend.
records.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, man. I'm just very bummed out by this year's Spotify rap. So yeah, I don't know.
It might be a Apple Music year next year. We'll see.
Honestly, that might be the move. So anyways, yeah, that's it for I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to say about Spotify Wrapped, but we're disappointed. We're not mad. We're just disappointed.
Yeah, we're disappointed. But I have no segue.
The weekly weekend update.
I don't know. That was weekly weekend update.
I don't know either. I guess I went show tunes with it. You went very like robotic, futuristic vibe. But ladies and gentlemen,
Hold on, get ready for it. Bruh. White people be like, bruh. Whoa, Kenny, bruh.
Wait. Bring it back and then swoosh it over again.
Okay, hold on.
Ready?
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, our weekly weekend update. Bang, bang, bang.
My leg.
My leg. Oh my god.
It just doesn't have anything to do with the weekend anymore.
I know. We're just like, let's just do a sound effects theater today for weekly weekend update. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, weekly weekend update. Pretty nice one. Starting off, the global tour has been announced. The dates are out. Tickets have been sold. Hope you guys had better luck than a lot of people in the U.S. tour. So getting your ticket. So
this is a long tour,
Yeah,
but good for
yeah.
him. Yeah, shout out to all the
Good for
Europe
him.
fans. I know they were begging for when the Europe leg was coming. So he's going to Europe now. Continuing, the moon is traveling across seas. Nah, he's and I think he just also recently did his last show. His last U.S. show was that rescheduled L.A. show, which I have some tea about that.
Oh, exclusive. Go ahead and
Do you want me to spill? Okay.
go ahead and spill it, man.
Okay, y'all.
Spill it all over me.
Okay.
All over my chest. Just
Bruh.
all right, y'all got me. All right.
Pull
Just
over.
spill the tea.
Pull over.
Just spill the tea. Pull over. My leg.
Okay, the tea is, okay, everybody who's here right now,
Ooh.
tune in for a second. And if you're doing something else, tune in for a second. You didn't hear it from me. You didn't hear it from us. This is NDA. This is a non-verbal NDA right now. If you don't know what that means, that's a non-disclosure agreement. So we're off the hook, okay? Yeah. Everybody, can you actually everybody chat your username in the chat as your virtual signature, knowing that what you're hearing from me didn't come from me. You guys don't know. After this episode is done, it was like I didn't say anything. But
right over you. Yeah.
I have connections here in LA. As you know, I am in the entertainment industry. I'm also dabbling in the music industry as well a little bit. But okay, thank you. I'm seeing the signatures. Okay, cool. Okay, so apparently, when the LA show was canceled by the Weeknd, when his voice allegedly cracked or gave out or whatever it was, his vocal cords were strained, whatever it is, and he had to cancel the show. That actually wasn't the case. His vocal cords weren't worn or anything. Apparently, that man was sipping a little too much that night and maybe a couple other things, and it was too late to apologize, if you know what I'm saying. By the time he was up there, I think it was hard to tell. I think he was hiding it pretty well. But if you think about it, like, he's done all these other shows, not a single problem like that. Like he hasn't, unless he's taken some miracle, lozenge that lubricates his throat or something. But someone has told me, someone on their team has relayed, he was just too fucked up that night to actually perform.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
In classic Weeknd fashion.
That's some rock star shit right there. Just cancel a whole tour date just because you got a little bit too
fucked up.
What is it? 3 sheets to the wind.
Yeah. Didn't hear it from me. You didn't hear it from me. Okay?
Yeah. Of course. Allegedly.
This is all alleged. Okay. So, didn't hear it from me, and I have your guys' signatures as living proof that you cannot spill.
We will sue the pants off you if this ends up going around.
Yeah.
We'll find you.
But
anyways,
he did end up doing that show again, so it's fine.
Yeah, back to the scene of the crime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did. That's interesting. It's interesting. I'm just processing all that. That's very interesting. Yeah. Anyways, let's change the subject before we get to before the people start spreading,
incriminate ourselves.
Word. I know. Interesting. But yeah, hope you guys got your tour tickets. If you guys are global, I know we got some people all over the place watching here. So
yes,
good luck with that. I just remember the Starboy tour was some pretty great clips from like the Brazil, tour dates and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Excited about that. Another thing, we got some cool news. One that I'm really excited about is another movie soundtrack record. From our man Abel Tesfaye.
Yes, on
Avatar 2.
The Avatar 2 soundtrack, which is a collab I didn't think I was gonna see. That video of him announcing, or that little snippet of the song, apparently is on track to being like the most liked or most viewed video on Twitter on the whole platform. It got like 10 million views in like the first like hour or something that he dropped that. Like it went crazy. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Weeknd he's so big now. Like he's so global. He's such a phenomenon. It's really hard to like fathom it. And it
really is. Yeah.
And it kind of went at that I think it was like Weeknd Stats or something on Twitter talked about how that video was going super stupid viral. But someone that kind of like led to another conversation about like, what is this next Weeknd album drop gonna look like? Like people are like, with the numbers he's pulling on a daily basis of his old projects, stuff going diamond, platinum all the time, Die For You, like having a resurgence. In fact, he's actually marketing Starboy now, like more. If you go to his Spotify, like, you know how artists can like I don't know if it's still there, but artists can like highlight, you know, albums or, you know, stuff like that. But I don't know if it was a Spotify or somewhere, but like literally he's pushing Starboy right now, which is crazy. Like
this man's doing side missions right now. He's
literally doing
what album.
He's like looking back. He's like,
yeah.
yo, what do y'all listen to? And your catalog looking legendary. Let me just push this one. I know y'all liking the Die For You or whatever. But yeah, man, like just imagine like, and then, you know, obviously Super Bowl, you know, got him into that next stage. Dawn FM, kind of pushed him even further. But then after Avatar, people are thinking like this man might sell 800K to 1 million units first week that his next album drops, with how many new fans are listening to The Weeknd. So many people I've seen actually their top songs or top albums for their Spotify was a Starboy track or the Starboy album, which is so freaking crazy how the tables have turned on that. But yeah, I'm excited to see. It's crazy, bro. Avatar 2 Weeknd collab. What do you think about that?
It's cool, man. It's such a perfect thing for him to do. Like if The Weeknd were to be you know, make the soundtrack of a blockbuster song, I love that it's something with as obvious of a sound palette as Avatar, you know? Like okay. I was talking to Curry about it, and I was like, man, I hope he uses, you know, it's obviously going to be like a radio single, you know, a chart topper. So it's going to have that kind of formula, but for it to, I've you know, he put out little snippets of it, with like the trailer of Avatar 2, and it's like, oh, he's kind of using similar techniques to like Kissland in terms of like layering the vocals, layering like different sound effects and like the little tribal drums, and like, you know, not necessarily like the Kissland sound of like that dystopian Tokyo thing, but just like, you know, the techniques. So I'm just super excited, you know,
bro.
This is gonna be like the Weeknd.
Do you think it's gonna be in the movie? Like, you think like all of a sudden it's like this really emotional thing, and all of a sudden The Weeknd starts singing in the middle of Avatar? Like, I think I'll like shit my pants.
It's like if it's like the final battle, and it's like, oh, we need to come together, and then they soar through with like whatever the flying animal is, and it's The Weeknd's voice like taking me through that scene. Like I like
you just hear like
think about what.
Do you like the way I flick my tongue or not?
I'm a virgin.
Oh my god.
Never been to
had sex in the studio. Oh my god. Just like the worst possible pick for the movie.
I know. Well, that's that would have played during the sex scene of the original Avatar. The whatever it's called, when they connect the ponytails.
The sex scene of Avatar, yeah.
I remember describing that as a sex scene to my friend in middle school, like, yo, there's actually a sex scene in Avatar, and he was like, oh shit, for real? Oh, he's like, oh shit,
I headed to the theater right now,
right now. Ticket for one, please. And he was just so disappointed. But yeah, no, this is gonna be big, man, and I'm super excited.
Yeah,
this is what was I gonna say?
Let me address this right here. Daniel says, why is everyone calling this her sophomore album? She has Broken Clock. I think you mean Control. Z. It is an album. It just didn't do. It's like not her notable album. You know, I think that's why everyone's kind of considering, you know, Control to be her kind of debut studio album. Yeah. If you think about it, like you think about Frank Ocean. Sorry, this is a sidetrack from the Weeknd stuff, but Daniel, I do read the chats. But if you think about Frank Ocean, you know, he dropped Nostalgia Ultra, which is an album, but his first album is technically Channel Orange. So, you know, that's his first studio album. And then, you know, the whole thing with Endless and Blonde. But yeah, that's I think why people are considering it to be her first album, and then this one to be her sophomore album. Plus also just like culturally, like Control is her big album, so she's following that up. So that's why we call it that, to clear that up.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. Also, I still don't remember what I was going to talk about. But yeah, Avatar 2, SZA 2,
SZA 2, Able to, yeah,
Able to, super excited. And that's not all we got regarding the Weeknd, because we also got a new record off of
new feature,
Metro Boomin.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we'll talk about the rest of the album. But since this is the weekly Weeknd update, let's start off with this new single we got, Creepin, with Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, 21 Savage. First of all, if we're talking about The Weeknd and The Weeknd and Metro Boomin, their track record is right. Spotless, clean, like Heartless, Till I Bleed Out.
Yeah.
What's the other one? But there's just
is he on
a whole
Starboy?
picture.
Yeah, I think the one with him in Future. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that song is so good.
Low Life, 6 Feet Under, Escape from LA, Faith, Until I Bleed Out, Heartless. Like those are like some of the grails of the Weeknd's discography.
I'm saying right
and
now.
now we got a new one.
Yeah, bring back Trap Weeknd. I'm demanding it. You know. But what was great though about this Metro and this particular track with him and Metro is that it felt like they were taking little bits and pieces from what the Weeknd's been doing, you know, the past year or two. It kind of goes, well, first off, this song immediately reminds me of something from Trilogy days. Like, just the melody, the kind of darkness, just the simple, like, beat that with his vocals, like, it's just so, like, you know, it's like that haunted strip club shit. That's what it sounded like.
I don't wanna know.
Yeah, so good. But then the second half, or the bridge or whatever, picks up, and they bring in those 80s drums, you know, that we're kind of like tapping into with, you know, Donna Femme and After Hours. Like, it felt so good. Like, I feel like Metro and Weeknd are just on, like, they understand each other so well. And then, you know, 21 lays down, like, easy, like, clean verse to bounce off of the Weeknd. Like, bro, this track
used to ride
fire.
in the rinky dink.
Yeah.
I got a girl in San Francisco, and I call her my baby.
Yeah.
Crazy, like, iconic 90s R&B rap. Like, obviously it is a sample of Mario's I Don't Want to Know, but just like it emulates that, but then like brings it up, elevates it to like a cinematic, you know, level to fit the heroes and villains theme of the rest of the album.
Exactly.
You know, just amazing. And the Weeknd did his fucking thing, man. That's something. And you said it perfectly. We need Trap Weeknd back. Look, man, if we're talking about the sound of the next album, you know, you'd mentioned that before, and I do want to touch on that. Is like, I hope he goes through like every single kind of era he's gone, of not just like albums, but just like the sounds as well. You know, obviously, like, you got the grimy, ethereal Weeknd. Right. You also have the trap Weeknd. You got 80s Weeknd. You got so many different other Weeknds so I just would love to see him like cover the basis, cover the spectrum of Weeknd records.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, no. It was
one right here.
Yeah, it was definitely a reminder, pun intended, of how good he is over trap beats. Like, it's just the perfect, like, kind of rapping, singing flow that he gets, and just it's just hard. But yeah, no, fire feature. I was actually texting Curry about this, but I was saying that this is probably one of my favorite features that The Weeknd has done in a long time. I'll be real, like, a lot of the features he's done maybe the past year, maybe more like last year. I think he hasn't really done too many this year. But they're kind of like all right, like his Post Malone stuff is pretty mid. I'm gonna be honest. I think I did like. I really enjoyed the one with him and Doja Cat. With what's that song called? You Right. Like I love that one. But it's like, I don't know. Everyone's always like, oh, when The Weeknd features, it's his song, whatever. But honestly, like, I don't really think that. I think it still has to be good. But this was a fire feature, and it just like made me remember, like, oh my god, yeah, this is like, I don't know. I love Donna Femme. I love After Hours. This whole new pop '80s sound, but I miss the Trap Weekend because I think it was a perfect merge of like what people loved in Trilogy versus a more like modern sound with Starboy. That's why I think Starboy is like having so much of a resurgence right now because everybody loves a trap beat, and then you have The Weeknd's like haunted strip club lyrics and vocals over it. It's perfect. So yeah, he hasn't done that in a little while. With this whole '80s wave he's been on. So I was like, man, like when is this Weeknd coming back? Like not to say, we haven't even closed out this trilogy of albums, but I don't know. It's got me thinking.
I think I really feel like he knew that, and that's why he wanted to come in on this Metro album just to tease. Because I think, similar to what we're saying with SZA, like how this album it kind of needed to come out. I feel like he almost, the Weeknd character, he needed to like close this chapter of the Weeknd of whatever it is for him, and I'm sure that's for him to like to tell us what he wants to close with this trilogy. So I think that after this we finish out this After Hours trilogy, I think he's gonna be able to just hop around to all the different genres that he would like to. If he's still, let's be honest, he's definitely gonna be making music. When we say the end of the Weeknd, we just mean like the end of this iteration of the Weeknd.
Right.
So with that said, I want to give a hot take that I mentioned to you in passing in text the night of. He collabed with 21 Savage, which was an amazing idea. Let's pair the Weeknd, one of the most beautiful angelic voices, with 21, who's just like he has this the grimiest, the hardest, most like just like he's been through the grime, all that stuff, and pair him on the song about cheating. And in my opinion, this record was far more memorable, far more substantial, far more like inspired than any single record off of Her Loss. And and this is a dumb comparison, stupid ass comparison. I'm like, you can hate on me all you want, but just the 21 Savage stuff, it's a trap. It's like both The Weeknd and Drake kind of getting into their trap vibe. This song single-handedly just like cleared any song off Her Loss, in my opinion, because like I just said, it's just more memorable, more substantial, that he puts on this 90s record that I personally didn't like know, I Don't Want to Know by Mario. So in my opinion, it just, I don't know. It just, and also Heroes and Villains, I think, just contributed everything I wanted to take away from Her Loss, like everyone came in saying Her Loss is like, oh, it's going to be his like fuck boy, like like cinematic trap dark record. All that I got more, in my opinion, from Heroes and Villains. I got even a little bit more than I asked for, which we can get into in a second. So I don't know, but first of all, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on just like that take?
I mean, you're saying Creepin is better than All These Hoes, Slaughter Gang CEO. Sticks and stones,
break my bones.
Oh my god! Do your thing. 21. You say it's better than that? Oh my god!
The Meg Thee Stallion diss bars.
That shit better on mute.
That album sounded better on mute. No, again, like I get it. The songs are cool. You can put them on. They bang. But like,
no, I you're right though. You're right.
This song was a banger, and then also gave me a little the depth of it, in terms of just like sonically, all that stuff. It like just it appeals to like the casual listener, but also if you're looking for a little more, you can take away a little bit more. I don't know. That's just me though. Yeah.
I will say not even Creepin, but the first track with what is it called, like Superpower or something with Future off of this album clears the first track of this album clears any track on Her Loss. Like it's very very easy for that. That was a pretty lazy album. I will say though, what's interesting though, if you compare both albums. Okay, wait, are we talking about can I switch it over to the heroes and villains talk now?
Push it on over.
Okay. Where did I put it?
Oh.
Nope. There it is. Okay. Metro. Make it boom. Yeah, no. What was interesting though, about heroes and villains is that the problem it had is the exact would have been the solution to make Her Loss better, which is that it felt like there was a little too much real estate for 21 Savage on Heroes and Villains when Her Loss didn't have enough 21 Savage being a collaborative album. I will say like Heroes and Villains, incredible, like amazing installation for this kind of superhero kind of like trap mix that Metro's been doing the past few years. It got me back into my trap phase. I don't know, I don't know if this is just me, but it's like rap nowadays and trap. Like trap isn't really trap anymore, and rap really isn't rap anymore. It's kind of just become like, I think the Playboy Cardi effect has really taken over all of the hip hop like subcategories in that they're all very similar. Everyone is trying to have like a high pitched flow, trying to get that Playboy Cardi effect. The production has become super muddied. I'm not even going to even start with how TikTok's influencing that. But Metro though has somehow kind of steered clear of all of that and remained really focused and still refined his sound and reminded me of how good trap music was in like 2016, 2017, 2018. That was like, Astroworld, that was the Young Thug era. Like Uzi was going crazy during that. Like that was when trap was like, the production was great. It was clean, not overproduced. A lot of rap nowadays is overproduced, or is stupid and samples some song that it was a hit, 20 years ago. I'm looking at the Daft Punk sample, from Her Loss. I'm looking at flows stolen from fucking childhood rhymes. Like it just is stupid. But you get Metro, who is like the grandfather of modern day rap and hip hop and trap, and you put people like Future, Young Thug, Travis Scott, The Weeknd, Young Nudie, all these people, all these like notorious, also grandfathers of rap music over it. You're just reminded, like, to me, it transported me back into like that era, like everyone's like Summer of 16 was the era. Like that's what it reminded me of. But yeah, like even off the opening track, Future, like that Future track is so fire. Like it just reminded me how good he is, bro. And like the whole, like, I don't know if you guys saw the short film that went with this, but it's like Metro's basically Batman, and like that's what it looked like, which was fire.
If Metro don't trust you, you better fucking run.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman, like, and I love how like the first track, the opening track of this album is like 20 like superhero commercials in one, where it's just like, you thought you needed me or whatever. It's like, I came to save the world. It was like some Our Thoughts mode shit, where it was like, we're here to save rap, like.
Yeah. Oh, dude, like I was fully bought into that, man. Like I completely fucked with everything that short film had, and having Lakeith Stanfield be like the Joker type thing.
Yeah.
Having that like full like superhero Batman moment where he transforms, man. Like I don't even know like how long it's been or how long it took for him to like conceptualize this. Obviously he had the Heroes Don't Wear Capes thing that was really cool, and I didn't realize like I really fucked with everything about the Heroes thing. But the Heroes albums concepts. But one thing I wanted to ask you real quick,
shout out Thought though, our Pearl Fountain. Now
Omar,
what's good Omar in the chat. Yeah,
Good to see
you gotta hop
man.
on another stream, bro, for real.
For real, man. Hope you've been doing well, bro. I do agree that one thing I was my first time listening to this album, I was like, these beats sound so clean. Like,
Clean.
and there's so much happening, but I hear every single bit just from the first listen, whereas usually with other albums, I'm like, I
Yeah.
have to either, like you said, it's very muddy and everything feels just thrown on you, like it just kind of washes over you.
Right.
But this one, like I could pick every single bit of that happened. But I had a question, we were talking about, you mentioned how one of the trends nowadays is sampling
Yeah.
songs, just jacking choruses from records. You got Super Freak by Nicki Minaj. You got
Right. That's been
Circle
happening the
Loco.
past like 3 years, I think.
Yeah, First Class.
Yeah, even like I remember Sweetie, one of her biggest songs was a straight rip of, yeah, like pretty much, like just ripping songs that have already gone viral in their prime time.
Yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to kind of get ahead of a question that I think we might get is like, what separates, say, like, yeah, Creepin', he samples a 90s record, literally takes every lyric, just basically covers it, and then
Mhm.
adds, the instrumental behind all that stuff. What differentiates the two, Creepin' from, like, say, the rest of those records?
Right. I mean, honestly, like, it's just because it's the Weeknd. I mean, if I'm being honest, it just is. He just sounds so great. It's just like, oh yeah, like you can cover any song and it sounds good because he's so recognizable, and he makes anything sound good. But also, you can also look at, well, speaking of the Weeknd, you can also look at his cover, let's say, or not really cover, but his track, Out of Time. Like that entire instrumental is straight ripped from like a Japanese,
Pretender.
yeah, like a whole other, like if you really listen to it, like they didn't really change much of the production. Like it's pretty much the same song, just with his own lyrics over it. But I don't know. It's just it's well produced. It's not derivative. In fact, it's kind of just a cool homage. Whereas you have the Daft Punk. I thought that was cool. Whatever. Like when I first listened to it, off of Her Loss, the Daft Punk sample or whatever. But it really was just the only when it's the only thing about the track that makes it good, then it's kind of shitty. But then but when you look at Creepin', it's like you have the Weeknd's, he kind of revisiting that trap sound. There's history behind it. It's a little more than just the fact that it's a cover, or like he's ripping that chorus. It's like he's doing it for a reason, because he wants you to remember, he wants you to know, pun intended, that he still got it like that. So I think it's cool. Like that's kind of the difference, in my opinion, between like completely ripping off something and just throwing a shitty verse over it versus like completely reimagining it and still making it sound good. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think another aspect on that same note is also like it's a song that is like kind of, it's obviously a classic 90s R&B, but I personally didn't know it, so I had this experience of being like, oh shoot, it's a sample. Oh, let me go back and listen to the sample.
Yeah.
Oh, this song is also really good. Whereas I know One More Time by Daft Punk. I know
Yeah.
I know
At least you had to dig a
Super
little bit, like to
Yeah.
appreciate, that's another thing.
Again, there's the care about it. The care
Yeah.
that goes into it is like you could tell this was in their thing and they wanted to kind of pay homage to it. Whereas the Drake stuff, the Nicki Minaj samples, they feel just like cash grabs. Like, oh, I know this
Exactly.
record works,
Yeah.
so let's just use it. Staying Alive,
Exactly.
DJ Khaled,
Yeah.
like all
Fucking
that stuff.
way too sexy. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, so exactly. So I think that's a difference. And if you listen to the radio now, like all it is older songs getting flipped with new verses or whatever and freaking remixes. Like it's not even original music anymore. And so that's the cash grab. But also like they do this, with Creepin', and it still works within the whole context of the album. Like Metro was
recontextualize it.
Yeah, Metro was really specific on saying like listen to it in order. Which is really cool for like a producer tape, like also Metro, like DJ Khaled needs to leave the face of the earth, bro. Metro put Metro is who DJ Khaled thinks he is when it comes to assembling a squad. You know, like the Avengers. You know, the heroes and villains, becoming like putting your mark as a producer, like the ultimate curator, whatever.
Yeah.
DJ Khaled, I don't know, but Metro I think had the biggest debut of any producer-led album ever. So I mean that pretty much tells you who's really doing it like that out here.
Yeah, man. And if we're just to go into the album itself, you know, other than like say the Creepin record or you know, some of the other tracks you've mentioned, the album as a whole is super tight. It's under like 50 minutes, so you know it's a fairly quick listen. But man, you get some experiences on this album. Like there are certain records on here that are. And another thing to compare it to Her Loss Again, there's a lot of beat switches, you know? There's a good amount of beat switches, but the thing is they're impactful because they're, you know, it'll go from say like I'm thinking of Walk 'Em Down, Don't Kill the Civilians, the one with 21 Savage and Mustafa. You know, that record starts off with 21 and it's like this very villainous type vibe, and then it goes into Mustafa and it's like, oh, that's when it goes into don't kill civilians, and I guess that's like the hero part of that record. So again, like just to kind of differentiate and like bring it back to like, you know, how much care there was. This album is just everything that you want in an experience, and everything is done meticulously as opposed to like say doing it just to do it. You know, just say like, oh shit, like that was a sick beat switch or whatever like that.
Yeah.
It actually meant something. You know. What other records are there? Travis Scott was I fucking love his, like I think I mentioned to you, like I'm kind of like starting to fall back in love with what Travis Scott was in my life, you know, like, you know, the harmonies, the trap over the trap beats, and like what he was able to do with autotune and the effects. Like, I don't know.
I also enjoyed Travis Scott on here. I don't know. I feel like it's funny you say that you got getting back into Travis Scott. Like after this album dropped, I kind of started diving back into Travis Scott records, you know, obviously Astroworld, but I started listening to Rodeo again, started listening to Birds in the Trap, stuff like that. And I feel like Travis has like, I don't know, like if you look at even like other features he's done, like he put so much more energy into his songs than he does now. Like if you really like listen, he's kind of still staying on that melodic kind of low, you know, kind of Kid Cudi-esque, where he's kind of just like harmonizing and stuff and keeping it chill. Whereas like he used to like rage on tracks, you know, he used to do some crazy ass things with his voice. So I kind of felt like, I don't think he brought this album down at all. I just felt like he could have had so much of a bigger moment being on the Metro, you know, track. Like, especially when you look at his features from the last Metro album with Not All Heroes Wear Capes. Like some of my favorite Travis like features are on there, you know, and it's just it's dope, you know, and he just has a different vibe, a different energy. He's bringing a lot more energy to it, and it just feels like he's kind of like tapered off a little bit recently. I don't know why. Maybe he's scared with all the scandals or some shit, or you know. I was
gonna say maybe he's not as much of a fan of raging.
Yeah, maybe he's not trying to really rage after what happened.
This particular juncture. Yeah,
so,
no, but that song
that.
Raindrops. That song Raindrops, when that beat drops in, that's you know, it's a little more lively.
Yeah.
You know, you feel like you're freaking like Spider-Man 3 vibes with the walking down the street just chilling. Right. You know, like I don't know, man. I loved. You know, I do agree he didn't have like that crazy like, oh shit, this is Travis Scott moment, you know. But in terms of like, it reminded me like, okay, like him and Metro Boomin, it took me back to Skyfall, you know, and and all that stuff. So it just kind of
like listen to Skyfall and then listen to like everything Travis has released the past year or so in terms of like features. You know, Mafia's cool, but it's all just like the same thing. But in Skyfall, he's like, ooh, you know, it's like, whoa, you know, like that goes crazy. So that's all I'm saying.
No, I agree totally. I totally 100% agree. I think he's been, I would say like, he's focusing on like, well, I don't even know really. I haven't gone back and listened to like the new Travis Scott stuff, so I might go ahead and do that as well. So no,
Down in Atlanta.
Real quick,
I think he listened to that. Yeah.
Yeah. What? Wait, you haven't listened to that? Sorry.
I think. Did you listen to that track?
I did. Yeah. What'd
Okay,
you think
okay.
about that one?
Yeah.
Pharrell.
Same thing. Same thought. That's definitely
Cool vibe.
like cool vibe,
Yeah.
but not. Where's the energy?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Any other standout tracks from Heroes and Villains you wanted to kind of spotlight before
for
we
sure.
start wrapping up? Also, D
Yeah.
Mine, thank you for a super chat. These guys
Hey.
really understand music.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you for
yeah,
that. Appreciate
appreciate that.
you. Yeah. Appreciate the 199, my friend. Definitely want to highlight Feel Like Fire with ASAP Rocky, and Takeoff. That song hits differently now. I think, or
Yeah.
it just means so much more. And ASAP, I love ASAP Rocky, but R.I.P. Takeoff. Dissect did a really interesting. I don't know if it was Dissect or someone else, but Dissect, maybe it sounds like something they would do. But they actually broke down that verse by Takeoff, and it was this crazy. Like, I don't know what the technique is called, the writing technique, but basically he went through the entire alphabet, and every time the word that rhymed, I know that there's a technical term for that, but when you're the rhyme scheme basically followed the given word that linked each bar started with a letter in like alphabetical order. So like if you go back, it's like the word starts with A and then B and then C, and then he goes through the entire alphabet. So it's just crazy, lyrical stuff that Takeoff's doing, really like kind of highlighting how underrated he was just as a lyricist, in the Migos, like specifically. So yeah, that one,
Man.
that track is great.
Yeah.
I definitely like Raindrops for sure. Superhero, yeah, like obviously Creepin, but yeah, no, a lot of bangers on here for sure. Definitely snuck in when it comes to notable albums this year.
Man, let me just say this: the rollout of this album is
Banger.
a dark horse contender. If you guys
Best
haven't seen,
rollout for sure.
head over to the Instagram. I forget. Recall. I think Matt mentioned it before, or maybe I know we've been talking about it, but he posted like comic book covers of each feature. It's like Chris Brown. It's The Weeknd in like a Dracula suit.
Right,
And it's
right.
like, oh, The Weeknd confirmed on the album. Is he a hero or villain? Like there's some kind of, and it actually plays into the album where if you go back and you look at their outfits, and you see like, oh, he's a hero. You go back into the album, they're on like a track that's very, very hopeful or heroic, has a lighter tone, or say, The Weeknd, he has that villainous Dracula fit. Obviously, he's on something as hard hitting as say Creepin. So
Right.
I don't know. There's Metro Boomin, man. Like, if we're talking about artists that who me personally have like hit something so perfectly to me that raised their stock in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's JID, it's Beyonce with Renaissance, and it's Metro Boomin with this album. And I am just such an amazing year in music, man. Wow.
It's been a great year. Someone said you're going to do a 2022 album tier list. I think that's basically what our Thoughts Awards is for. We just have so many amazing albums to highlight. We just put into all one award show. So yeah. But also we also do a People's Choice. Just so you know, so you can. I think if you follow me on Instagram, you'll be able to vote very soon, probably close to when we actually do the Our Thoughts Awards.
And all segments here and there, like pre-recorded segments that will. Sorry, am I glitching out?
For a second, you're good.
Okay, but yeah, we also like to pre-record some segments and show some love, and I've been kind of brainstorming because there's a lot to talk about with this year, and I do want to show love even beyond just the awards. So there's gonna be a lot to talk about. We're not gonna be. Chances are we will probably touch on some of your favorite aspects of music in 2022. Hopefully, some that you maybe forgot and all that stuff. I don't know. It's an exciting part of the year, man. Like this is our little baby right here, the Our Thoughts Awards. So
yeah.
And we're not gonna. The 4th annual Our Thoughts Awards coming around the corner. Anyways,
it's gonna be great. Last year's was fucking awesome, I will say. So we somehow have to top it.
I know. What is in your rotation?
Okay, closing off. To close off.
Yep.
What's in my rotation? All right, y'all. I got some bangers for you. Oh shit, my phone is so hot. I don't know why.
Obviously, Heroes and Villains has been on rotation for me. That shit's
Obviously.
been going hard in the gym, man. Oh my goodness.
Oh, true. That's a great one to listen to.
I was hitting some max shit, like
Some PRs.
in a minute, man.
Yeah.
Since high school.
Right. Okay. I've been listening to. I've been getting into. I'm realizing this year a lot of oldies, a lot of R&B, kind of old school hip hop, pretty chill. But I'm ready to turn up. I'm trying to get in my happy music vibe. I'm trying to get in my ignorant trap music. I'm not saying it's ignorant, but it sounds like it.
You're ignorant.
Ignorant music. Life in Hell by Lancey Foe. This album goes hard. This is my new Kenny Mason for sure. This is my new Playboi Carti. He's just there are some tracks in here he's just on another fucking level. Definitely very similar to Playboi Carti, but he does it well. So definitely check that out. The Velvet Rope by Janet Jackson. This album I had no idea existed until I found like a track on a playlist or something, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. There's some incredible diversity on this album when it comes to you have 2000s like Jay Dilla inspired hip hop tracks. You have full on dance records, like disco dance records. You have classic R&B. There's a song on here that reminds me so much of a Division song, or just of the latest Division album. I mean, that kind of tells you how great they hit the nail on the head with that. Given this album came out in like 1997. But yeah, and then there's like your classic watery 90s ballads, you know, something you hear off of like 24K Magic. Like, it's just, there's so much on here. Highly recommend. Janet Jackson, crazy. I'm listening to that new Joey Badass tape, 2000. Finally got a chance to actually like listen to it. Thoroughly enjoying that. It's tough, I will say, but I actually enjoy the beats better on 2000 than I do on 1999.
Okay.
I think this album's great. And then all day today I've been listening to Control, obviously to prepare myself. And then I'll give you guys out of left field recommendation.
Do it.
Completely different, way different genre. I've been diving into neo psychedelic music, psychedelic rock music. Ooh. So you can kind of loop like Tame Impala into that. That's a pretty commercialized one. But if you guys listen to Caribou, or if you've heard Caribou, spelt like this with a C, I don't know if that's how you spell it, like the animal. But if you listen to The Milk of Human Kindness by Caribou, it came out in 2005. Some really interesting moments on there. Some crazy sounds, some crazy sonic, like, honestly, I don't even know. Just listen to it. It's really interesting. It's very indie. It's very psychedelic. There are just, your mind is kind of transported with that album. So yeah, those are a couple recs I have for y'all this week.
Okay, I got a couple of those saved up. Thank you for that.
For sure.
So, yeah, as I mentioned before, Heroes and Villains has been on rotation. Kind of, yeah, like you said, threw me back into this trap. So, like, I definitely got nostalgic over just, you know, how amazing that trap beat sounded, and then now I'm going back. So, yeah, and then there's again, another totally random out of nowhere recommendation for you guys is there's this YouTube channel that kind of just like stumbled into my subscription feed called Dinosaurs, like dinosaurs but souls. And I don't know who it is, but they're doing God's work and just like posting like a bunch of like retro vintage 70s funk soul R&B. Like I'm talking, you know, obviously you got like there's like Curtis Mayfield, there's Barry White, there's, you know, you got all that, but there's some deep cuts that I've been finding. Like there's some Jimmy James.
Dino Soul. It's a YouTube channel.
Yeah. DINASOULS. And yeah, I've been finding some really nice stuff. There's there's this one album that I saved up and I've been listening to lately is Where Your Music Takes Me, Jimmy James and the Vagabonds.
Nice.
And it's it's if you I was in the 70s mood after listening to our or editing our Bruno Mars video, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to just like get into what I love, and like really like delve into it because I this is gonna sound hella cringy, but I do kind of think of myself as a little bit old fashioned in that sense.
Yeah.
So it's been cool kind of delving into that and really kind of figuring out like, oh shit, I like this stuff and wanting to delve into it more. So no, I've been loving that. And then let's see, Love Bird, Donald Byrd, and 125th Street, NYC. It's a nice tight 7 tracks record, but it's like a jam session. If you've ever heard like a Chicago album, where it's like there's 3 minutes of a song and then 3 minutes of just pure jam session.
Nice.
Improv, like it's that, but really well done. Hi, Matthew David says you're talking about dudes I was raised on that my parents loved. Yeah, no, man, that's
you gotta pay homage to the oldies.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that people are coming up on it now and paying homage to it, and now it's like it's so sonic. And
Right.
another album, I wanna show love to my boy real quick, Matt, for putting me onto this. And this happened last stream actually, is he put me onto this album called Unlimited by Roger.
By Roger, yes.
And
Can't get more
oh my
80s
God.
than that, bro.
I was walking through downtown SF the other day with it's Union Square. You got all the lights and like the Christmas decorations are happening. We were walking through department stores and
Nice.
hearing music, and I'm blasting this and it's in my ears and I'm just like, man, this is like, it just warmed my heart. So I just wanted to thank you for putting me onto that shit.
Yeah.
And, just to give you some context, it starts off with a song called I Want to Be Your Man. And then there's a song later on that says I Want to Really Be Your Man, titled I Want to Really Be Your Man.
This
so,
is
there's
the simp anthem. Yeah.
yeah, no, this is music that if you appreciate what Bruno did with 24K Magic, you will love this album. So
For sure.
Again, my man put me onto that. And then one last thing, it's not something I've listened to, but it's something I will listen to when we get to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, midnight Eastern, is new Larry June and Blast.
Yes,
Dude.
collab.
That is
That's gonna be hype. LA and the Bay coming together.
Yeah, man, we needed that. That's I know you are obviously from the Bay, but that's kind of this podcast as well. We're representing the Bay and LA,
Yeah.
so it's cool, man. Larry June, Bay Area's very own. Good job, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
I love his vibe. I love everything. Another artist that Matt put me onto. So go check that out. Maybe before you get into the SZA album, because that's gonna be
yeah. I need to
record.
set the scene for that.
Yeah, no. So with that said, that has been what is in our rotation. Go ahead, check the chat for everything that has been in the rest of the Thoughts community rotations. Thank you for watching. This is the SZA pre-album drop party. Matt, as the SZA ambassador of this podcast, what would you like to what thought would you like to leave them on?
All right, y'all. The 5-year wait. I don't know if y'all were waiting with me, but I was waiting. Is officially over tonight at 9 o'clock. Just a couple short hours. We're getting 21 new SZA tracks. And I just hope it's amazing. I hope it blows my expectations out the water. I know it's a lot to ask for, but like I really want it to, and we've been waiting so long for it. I'm really glad she's giving us the whole hard drive. But yeah, new SZA could be album of the year contender. We don't even know. I could say that about so many albums. But this is definitely my most anticipated album ever, outside of like Frank. But we don't talk about Frank. But yeah, man, this has been Our Thoughts Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. So sorry if you're just joining now. We are wrapping up, but once we end this, you can go back and watch. Let us know what you guys think about the SZA album when it drops. You can let us know over on our socials, which is Cheslito on Instagram and Twitter, Mad Mags on Instagram and Twitter, or you can follow us, Our Thoughts Podcast, on everything. Give us a like while you're here. Follow, subscribe if you're new. Share us with a friend. And you can see my Kitty there is getting ready to head out. So
Yeah,
on that note,
like, come on, let's listen to this SZA album.
yeah,
already,
come on,
man.
wrap it up. All right, y'all. On that note, thank you for tuning in. Happy Our Thoughts Winter, Our Thoughts Holidays, and we'll see you next week.
Hey,
Peace.
let's go.